Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode in the On Cloud video series, where I'll be tackling various subjects from the DevOps world. My name is Andrei Petrescu and I lead the DevOps department at CloudHero. Today's episode is about how you can save big with Spot instances and Kubernetes. And to make it a little bit more relatable, I'm gonna share yet another story of a migration that we did back in 2018. We'll be discussing today about the migration of an audio streaming platform from physical servers to AWS. When we're talking about an audio streaming platform, one of the main components of the software architecture is actually encoding audio. So what does encoding audio mean? Well, let's say you get a song from a record label. When you get it, you want to convert it into as many, let's say, formats as possible so that when you stream it on your phone, you can get the best speed possible while having a bad internet connection. Because you would much rather listen to the song at a lower quality while you're on the subway than having pauses in your song. The process of encoding audio is very CPU intensive. So in a physical setup, you would have a physical machine that would stay up all the time and convert the audio files. The problem is that you may not always need that physical machine up. Maybe you only use it 50% of the time. So you're actually wasting money having that thing on, or you would have to find smarter ways to do something with it in the off hours. This is where cloud scalability comes into play, because you can always create virtual machines, use their compute power, and whenever you're done, you can just destroy them. Moreover, encoding audio is a process which can be interrupted at any time, because let's say you have some audio, you push some jobs into a queue, and then you pull the job and you start processing. If for some reason the encoding of the audio gets stopped at any point in time, you will just pull the job again from the queue when a new worker is available. So having these two things in mind, I think you can already know what I'm thinking about. Spot instances and Kubernetes are a match made in heaven when it comes to this specific use case. Which is funny because we didn't even think about using it when we were planning for the migration. As we teach migration, a prerequisite is to calculate costs so that the customer knows what to expect after you move them to AWS, let's say. And in the initial plan, converting audio was done via AWS Media Convert, which is an awesome service because it's a managed service and you don't need to worry about anything. But the cost proved to be a little bit high for them at the time, which is not a problem. You have to meet the customer where they are. We already had this Kubernetes setup that we were using for the API, and it was very effective because it was auto-scalable. And we thought about the fact that, okay, we have this setup. AWS has Spot instances. The encoding jobs are retriable, so why not mix all of these things together? So what we came up with is a setup where we have the general node group for the web apps and the APIs and so on, and we have a different one based on Spot instances, which would scale up and down whenever they needed the capacity. And that proved to be a very good move because we saved 10x on the costs for the whole thing. Nowadays, it's even easier to do this. I mean, you have EKS, you even have mixed instance groups. So whenever you run out of Spot capacity for a certain type of instance, AWS just gives you another type of instance. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel. And my question for you is, why don't you use these capabilities for your own application architecture? As a takeaway from this video, some food for thought. Think about your application architecture. Do you have components from it that might benefit from this setup? If yes, I would urge that you start doing it immediately. So that's a wrap for today. If you like this video, consider subscribing to the CloudHero YouTube channel where I'll be posting way more stories like this. My name is Andrei Petrescu and I'll see you next time.